Last week I went into the cafe for lunch. I saw a young man eating at a table by himself and asked if I could sit with him. As we talked, he told me about his experience at Carroll. He told me he currently has 2 friends at college, and he hasn't met anyone else at Carroll during this time. And he's been here for 2 semesters. In between classes, he frequently sits by himself in the cafe, and he said, "I feel more cut off from society. I feel like I'm in my own little corner of the universe. I see everyone else mingling, and I'm kind of wondering, well, how did they make friends?" In parts of middle school and high school, I had similar thoughts and feelings. I was on the fringe in scouts and in soccer. Soccer was probably the worst. One guy would call me names right to my face. The other guys just ignored me and didn't want to be around me. One time I was at an end of year party and we were picking teams for a flashlight tag, and most of the guys got picked and then their sisters and then me, people mumbling, "Don't pick Zach." And it was just it's an awful feeling. Here at Carroll there are many people that go through this. It has many terrible effects. This week I had interviews with students at Carroll and was able to identify some problems that being left out can cause. First, it crushes students emotionally. A student I talked to described it, saying, "There's a feeling of hollowness in my chest. There's a sensation of I'm not a part of the rest of the human race. I'm the one who sits in the corner and reads books every waking moment of my free time. I don't have any friends. I don't really have anything better to do with myself." Another student I talked to is a person always without a partner in classes when they do group work. Why? Because he has a disability. These 2 students are being deprived of something they need. Berko describes Maslow's hierarchy of needs by writing, "The 3rd level consists of acceptance needs, the need for love and belonging." These students are in the process of being starved of what they really need. Another problem with students being ignored is that it tends to be self-fulfilling. One student I talked to said, "It's a self-perpetuating cycle. People never wanted to deal with me as a little kid, and I just assume they don't want to deal with me now. So I don't take part in anything now because of that." Another student told me, "Feeling left out, I would just avoid getting to know people because I felt like I wouldn't make any friends, so why would I even try?" As time goes on, students become less and less likely to reach out, which hurts their chances of making friends even more. Being left alone makes students also less likely to succeed in their occupations. One student said, "It's stopping me from taking action. I really wanted to join the Quill, our newspaper. I want to be an editor after I graduate. But I didn't. They probably wouldn't want anything to do with me when no one else does." This isn't just feelings getting hurt now. This is people's careers and their lives being affected by neglect. Being left alone is related to major health and safety risks as well. One article said, "Loneliness is a risk factor for the development of pain, depression, and fatigue." While this is a big deal, another article indicated an even more severe correlation. Joyner said, "Suicidal ideation results from the joint presence of 2 emotionally painful psychological states. One is low belongingness, 2 is perceived burdensomeness." While these studies don't indicate a direct cause and effect relationship, it is possible that it does exist. And if they do exist, we can expect some of these negative effects to present themselves at Carroll because there's many students here undergoing isolation. The solution to this problem is pretty obvious. Loneliness stems from a lack of companionship, so the solution is to be that companion. When I was made fun of in soccer, one of the guys named Shay would still hang out with me even though I wasn't liked very much. And that helped. And it's the same way with students here at Carroll. One student said it makes a huge difference when someone comes over and starts talking and hanging out with you because you start to look forward to coming here. There are 2 other reasons I think it's important to help students at Carroll. The first is that's the golden rule. Jesus told us, treat people the same way you want them to treat you. And if we decide not to reach out to someone because of their insecurities, we're really saying in our minds that We think we're more important than they are. Secondly, reaching out to hurting people gives you a sense of personal satisfaction. Reaching out to people is one of the highlights of my day, even though it might be a little uncomfortable at first. So this is my charge to you. Reach out. Talk to students who are unpopular, who help deliver them from the terrors of isolation and may change your life as well. If you're outgoing, go up to people that you don't know and befriend them. And if you are on the shy side, just talk to someone you already know that may not have as many friends. So, how do you all make choices? Do you make a pro-con list and then go with the option which is clearly better? We can look at the pros and cons of reaching out and determine if it's a good idea. Pros include restoring shattered emotions, possibly saving people from harm, having people being more likely to succeed in their careers, breaking the self-repeating cycle, find the golden rule, and personal satisfaction. Now let's look at the con side. Maybe a few minutes of personal discomfort and possibly a slight decrease in popularity. And this seems like a pretty obvious decision until it's you who has to go through this. So a few minutes of personal discomfort, slight decrease in popularity. We're going to be out of here in less than 7 short months, Carol. You will never have another chance to help these people again. But they're not out of your grasp just yet. At this very moment, there are lonely people sitting in the cafe. And there are hurting people in the library. And there are broken people in the Great Hall. Go up to them when you leave class. Introduce yourself in the hallway and sit down with them in the cafe. Don't let your insecurities stop you. People are hurting. Right now, students are suffering from the poison of loneliness and isolation, and you, my friends, hold the antidote in your very hands. I ask and I plead with you, don't waste a drop of it.